with a number of different men, each time seemingly changing for each of them.
You're right. I've been very lucky. I've had so many wonderful friends.
So many wonderfully rich, married friends. Each of these friends could give you everything that you wanted except marriage. Isn't that why you left Europe?
No, Mr. Keene. I left Europe because it was just emerging from the war. And New York was the center of the universe in those days.
You were friendly with the Cushing sisters, Betsy and Babe, weren't you?
Yes, Betsy and Babe welcomed me to New York with open arms.
Someone has to have lunch with her.
Better us than her husband's, I suppose.
You never forgive, do you?
No.
It was the war, babe. Everybody slept with everybody during the war.
That's what Bill said. What about Jock? What did he say?
Not a great deal.
And you forgave him.
Of course. The secret of a successful marriage is having a short memory.
She even did, Ali Khan.
Who didn't?
I didn't. Well, who on earth is she going to do in New York?
Well, word has it that Pamela Churchill always lands on her feet.
I can't believe she's coming to lunch. Doesn't she understand the rules?
The rules?
Yes. We know about it. She knows we know about it. We know she knows we know.
Let's try to be nice, shall we? It's been 15 years, and you weren't even married to Bill at the time.
It's hard to be cordial to a woman who's been to bed with your husband. Let's face it, Betsy, we're both at risk.
Let's be polite, get through lunch.
Then try to avoid her.
Betsy, Babe!
Pamela!
Pamela, darling, we're so glad you could come.
Sorry I'm late.
You look marvelous.
Thank you. So do you, Betsy. Both of you. It's so good to be with you. I'll have the same. Thank you.
You do have such lovely things. It must be difficult being here away from them.
Yes, especially my son, Winston. He's at Oxford.
Yes, when are you going back to England? To see him?
Well, I'm not really quite sure, actually. How is Jacques?
Fine, fine. He sends his regards.
Lovely. And Bill?
Oh, he couldn't be better.
Marvelous.
They're both very busy raising money for the Republicans.
Ike may wind up running against Averil Harriman. You're an old friend with Averil Harriman, aren't you?
Oh, yes, from the war. We were the behind-the-scenes connection between Roosevelt and Churchill.
So we heard.
Well, I'm ravenous. The mousseline d'asperge is divine here.
Thank you. Would you please order me the Dover soap? I'll be right back.
You could have been a bit more subtle.
Why? I was only thinking of poor Marie Harriman. Does she know that Pamela's in the same country as her husband?
How are you feeling? Those tests can be awfully uncomfortable.
The biopsy's positive, isn't it?
I'm afraid so. The important thing is that we catch this condition early.
By this condition, you mean cancer, don't you?
Yes, I'm sorry. But we can beat it by performing a complete hysterectomy. I've scheduled you for tomorrow morning. Mrs. Churchill, it's not as frightening as it sounds.
It takes more than an operation to frighten me. I was in London during the war, and once you've lived through your city being bombed every night, you can live through anything. Thank you. Yes, operator? Could you get me the state capitol in Albany, please? Yes, hello. I would like to speak to Governor Harriman, please. This is Pamela Churchill. Well, could someone possibly tell him that I'm on the line? He knows me. I see. Well then, could you please tell him that I'm at the Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, room 723. And I would so love to hear from him. Thank you so very much.
Pamela, good to see you.
Good evening, Lady Cunard. Oh, do be careful with my coat. I'm positively covered with glass. You can't imagine what an adventure it was getting here from 10 Downing Street. Toppling masonry, shattered windows.
Oh, well, here, my dear, this should help.
His name is Averil Harriman, an American. Roosevelt sent him here to give you Brits a hand. Good looking, isn't he?
He's possibly the most beautiful man I've ever seen.
And perhaps the wealthiest. His father started the Union Pacific Railroad.
She's the Prime Minister's daughter-in-law. Spends half her time at number 10.
Her husband's Randolph Churchill.
Yes. He's in Cairo with Montgomery.
Serving his country.
Oh, hardly. When he's not out drinking with his fellow journalists and gambling, apparently he's chasing women. They don't call him Randy for nothing.
Not to be outdone, he formed America's largest shipping fleet before he hit 30 and still found time to play polo. And I hear he's quite the skier.
Really?
Rumor has it that she's had to sell most of her jewelry to pay off her husband's gambling debts.
Well, I must say she looks quite good without it. You only see skin like that in a Rembrandt.
Is he married?
Yes, Marie. She's in New York.
That is too bad. Still, I must say I'm terribly interested in what's going on in Washington these days.